My name's Mike Hopkins, and welcome to Carbon News You May Have Missed, our occasional news catch up on carbon news that has mostly escaped the attention of the mainstream media. Today, we're going to be catching up on a couple of international reports on the progress of emissions reduction. We'll be showing you how to help reduce emissions in your video calls, and we're going to be looking at alternatives to those big, expensive pumped hydro schemes. We use reliable sources of information when putting this broadcast together and relay that information in good faith. However, if using or citing any of the information you hear, please make sure you're comfortable with its accuracy before doing so. First up then, some disappointing news emerged this week on progress to Paris targets, especially for New Zealand. The conclusions of a report published by the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, the UNFCCC, if you wish to Google it, which analysed 48 national emissions reduction goals. And I have to point out there that the EU counts as one entity in that tally. That information and that report tells us that current global climate pledges will only reduce emissions by 1% this decade. Just as a reminder, we need a reduction of 25% to reach the Paris 2 degrees target and 45% to reach the 1.5 degrees target. So a lot of countries are way off where they need to be. The report actually specified and identified several countries whose updated NDCs are considered not strong enough to reach the targets. And I'm sorry to report that list included New Zealand. So a lot more to be done here. Meanwhile, the IEA has reported global CO2 emissions are on the rise again, following the unprecedented fall of 5.8% recorded in 2020. So a little bit more disappointing, if not unsurprising news, given quite what 2020 brought for us. We're all too familiar with Zoom, Teams, GoToMeeting and the like these days, but did you know that using the camera during video conferencing emits 25 times more CO2 than using audio alone? According to researchers at Purdue University, it seems 1 hour video conference with cameras on emits 157.3 grams of carbon dioxide. The same conference with audio only emits 6.2 grams. While the New Zealand government battery project is picking up momentum, and the government still talks in reverent terms about the Onslow pumped hydro storage solution, it was interesting to see a new innovation announced this week that could replace traditional large pumped hydro schemes. The process has been developed by UK firm Re-Energise, and it uses the same concepts as pumped hydro, that is, pumping uphill during periods of low renewable costs and releasing downhill when it's needed. The difference is that the process uses a mineral-rich fluid 2.5 times as dense as water. That means the process requires a drop less than half the height of a traditional pumped hydro facility to deliver the same amount of electricity. Why is that significant? Well, the game-changing point about that, of course, is that the facilities don't need large high valleys and can be built into smaller hills alongside distributed renewables such as wind farms, providing short-term storage to support their stability. Let's hope the battery project includes assessment of these types of alternatives. And if you're interested in that, you want to look a bit more about the process, you can find information on reenergise.com. That's RHEENERGISE.com. If there was something in our broadcast today that you haven't heard before, please like and share. That lets us know that we're providing some useful or interesting snippets of information. Finally, a reminder about our upcoming conference in Christchurch in May. It's packed with exceptional speakers and it's unbeatable value. And I challenge people to compare the relative prices of our conference versus others. Please check out our website for more details on that and to have a look at the speakers and see exactly what the rates are. This broadcast was recorded on the 5th of March 2021. We'll be back soon with more news you may have missed. Please take care and stay safe.